don't want to go very far again. Where can we go local?
Well, the 3 C's are in: content, collaboration, and control. It's Crestron's new tagline, and we're going to talk to Joel Mulpeter about what that means and what they're doing with their new True Blue.
Shouldn't it be 4 C's though? Crestron?
Well, they're not including Crestron.
We have the product that I'm demonstrating, but our remote participants are going to want to see Tracy and Timothy as well.
We're in the biggest booth at the show at InfoComm25. I'm with Joel Mulpeter. Joel, again, thanks for taking the time. We appreciated the preview that you gave to us, everything that's going on. What are we looking at here? What's the story?
Yep, we are looking here at the 3 C's, right? So we're looking at content, collaboration, and control. The reason why we're talking about those is we believe those are 3 fundamental needs for the majority of spaces that we as an industry push forward, especially high impact spaces, right? So those 3 working in unison together help to match the workflow of what people walk into rooms today to do.
So that's kind of new messaging, which is really why we wanted to highlight it. And let's break them down one at a time.
Sure. Content,
collaboration, and control. Control I get. Crestron's origins are a control company, touch panels, pads, remote controls before that. I get all of that.
Yep.
What are the other ones? The content, collaboration?
So content we tend to align with information, right? When we go into a meeting space today, quite often we want to share information. That's from phones, from laptops, from fixed devices, but we go into put that information on screens, on displays, so that together we can discuss and talk about it. So the ways we move that content around the space today has changed or evolved. Today we're talking technologies like Air Media, right, with wired and wireless presentation. We're talking our DM Essentials line, doing that video, audio, and USB over a fixed cable for local systems. And then obviously AV over IP fits into that as well as we scale up to larger, more complex spaces, and also from room to room as well. So all of those fall into that content bucket of just how we share information in a space.
And collaboration, obviously we're in a collaboration industry, but it also with you and your partners, correct? With part of a larger industry.
Yeah, and collaboration we really like to think of, obviously remote and hybrid is not going anywhere, right? That is a part of the world we live in today and will continue to be, as far as we see it, for a very long time. But in-person collaboration is also super important, right? This whole return to work, when we're building high impact spaces, we build them so people can come and collaborate together. But that remote hybrid experience and that in-person collaboration needs to feel as natural as possible. So there's a bunch of technologies that fall into that. Obviously our Flex lineup with Teams rooms and Zoom rooms and how we get that hybrid and remote aspect happening. But also then intelligent audio, right? Making sure that every word can be heard, can be understood. There's an AI story there as well as to making sure AI tools hear the audio clearly so they can do their job properly, right? That's a moment in time for an AI tool. It needs to hear it and understand it clearly so it can do transcripts, translations, actionable insights. And then we like to talk about the camera experience in there as well, intelligent video. Making sure we can capture all the action in that room from the right angle in the best way possible so that that experience again on the far end or even in the room itself in very large auditoriums is as good as it can possibly be. So you can feel the action, hear what people are saying, and see what people are saying.
So each part of the 3 C's is evident in each one of the pieces that you're showing here in the booth, right?
Exactly, yeah. And this demo behind us is a flipped learning environment, right? One where we have a lot of content moving around, students working in groups that want to work in that group and then share with the class themselves. AV over IP is a great backbone for that. From a collaboration standpoint, there's a heap of cameras in this space, capturing those students from different angles and the academic as they stand at the front of the room. And that allows us to then, yes, in the room do that, but also send that to Zoom rooms or Teams rooms. And then all that technology is great. The only catch is if that technology gets in the way of teaching, that's a problem, right? The room was built for teaching. The room wasn't built to show off technology.
You don't want people to walk into the room to be experts in the equipment. You want them to be experts in the categories they're experts in.
Exactly. And control helps us to normalize that, and that story can be said for really every space we deploy technology. Most people want to go in the room to meet and they work in HR, in marketing, in finance. Again, they're not technology experts, and the same goes for teaching. We want them to be able to walk in that room and the room match the workflow of what it was intended for and just use the space, just be human.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at your lab and go through some of what the cool camera things are. But before we do that, there's an expression I've heard in the industry for many years, which you're now just starting to talk about publicly, which is this idea of True Blue. Can you give us the elevator pitch of what that really means so people understand it?
Yeah, sure. To put it simply, True Blue is every interaction our community has with Crestron. So it has been a term we've used for our tech support network in the past, but today every interaction you have from placing an order, talking to customer service, still tech support, our training network, all of that is True Blue. So we want to build a community that pushes the industry forward, and we want to do that with obviously the products we make, but our products aren't good enough. We also need the customers, the dealers and integrators are willing to install that, consultants that are willing to specify it, and customers that are willing to rely on it, and together we push the AV industry forward. So we want to be True Blue for you, and together grow that industry.
3C is True Blue, and let's go take a look at the lab.
Awesome.
Intelligent Video Lab.
Yep.
This is something new.
Yep.
Tell us about this.
Yeah, this is a space where we are bringing all of our intelligent video technologies together so people can experience them individually, think about where they apply to the spaces they have, and really help decide which ones make sense for them.
Because you've been in the video space for a while now, so what's new here?
Yeah, so we're framing all the technologies we have in Crestron devices into 6 kind of hopefully understandable groups of technologies. So that starts with what we call the foundational technologies, right? The first 3, which is group framing, right? Removing the negative space on a camera. We then move into things like presenter tracking, which is following someone as they move left to right across the stage or a presentation area. And then we move to speaker tracking.
You call this stuff all core, right?
Yeah,
this is pretty advanced stuff, but you call it core.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. We call it foundational. It is something that's, maybe not table stakes just yet, but is becoming expected from cameras today.
Okay.
So the speaker tracking using audio XY coordinates to know where people are. But then we overlay 3 Crestron specialties on that, or 3 Crestron technologies on that. First one is intelligent switching, right? Having multiple cameras in the space, so now we can switch between cameras to get the best shot of the individuals in that room and the action happening in that room. We also do visual AI. Visual AI starts with reframing, so even if we take a shot of someone and they lean left to right, we always capture them right in the center of the frame and track them and follow them with minute changes.
So as they fall asleep, you can still follow that? Oh, yeah, okay.
Exactly,
right.
yeah. Set an alarm off to wake them up.
Okay.
And then we also do visual AI direction. Visual AI direction, a newer feature of our platform, but what that allows us to do is to know where people are facing. So we use AI with the eyes and nose to understand the direction someone's facing. As soon as they turn off a certain angle of incidence from a camera, we can make a switch to another camera. So we can make better camera decisions so that people are always captured front on. Best example of that, big long boardroom table. You talk to the CEO one moment, then you talk to the front of the room. Instead of getting a profile shot or the shot of the back of someone's head, we can switch from the front camera to the back camera.
So this is pretty sophisticated, a lot of intelligence, and you're not running it in the cloud. Where is this intelligence running?
Yeah, this is all edge AI, so it's either in the cameras themselves or it's in our device called Automate VX. Sometimes they're sharing that intelligence where we're sharing between the devices, so really we can put the AI in the most efficient place possible, which we believe is in the edge for a number of these technologies.
Okay.
So after more than 50 years as a company, Crestron's new thing is they're refining their messaging. You can see it behind me on the wall like we've been talking about it. The 3 C's, content, collaboration, and control. They've always been a control company, but now they're re-emerging with their True Blue idea that they're focused on making sure that the content can be seen without having to be technology experts, that they can control the systems as they always do, and that not only can you collaborate in the rooms and hybrid and everything else, but, we're all collaborating with their partners and with all the equipment and with everything else that's going on.
You know what amazes me about Crestron, they weren't even at Enterprise Connect, right?
No.
But this is just a huge booth. And in ISE, they had a huge stand, I'll say stand. And anybody could buy a huge booth or a huge stand and just pay money, but they fill this thing is packed. There's a lot of people here. This is a very strong brand in this community.
Absolutely. They've been around for a very long time. The history is there, and now the new technology is there. They've got some good people. Definitely one of our big hits this year.